Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. We got some not so good news for us who use the US dollar as everyday currency because it seems like the dollar is being continues to be challenged by the Russians and the Chinese as a world or global currency, reserve currency. And that's going to be a very, very big problem for United States and for us who live in this country. It's going to lose its authority, or at least its dominance as we have it now. So this article, at that time, we or United States has to start producing something on top or aside from weapons in order to compete on the global economy. This article comes from Business Insider and is by Phil Rosenthal, Zelensky. Anyway, it comes from July 18th, 2022. This is the title. Russia distances itself from the US dollar further as it moves to trade oil with India using the UAE's local currency. So you and I trade something and we use his currency. We're not going to use that guy's currency anymore. Very weird. So Russia and Indian refiners are set to trade oil not in US dollars, but in the UAE local currency. Sources told Reuters that more deals priced in UAE dirhams, that's the currency, will happen as Moscow looks to insulate itself from sanctions. Earlier in March, Russia and India held talks for a potential ruble-rupee trade deal. Russia is looking to complete an oil deal with India refiners using the United Arab Emirates local currency rather than in dollars, according to Reuters report. Remember what happened with Saddam, who wanted to change it into euros? Remember what happened to Gaddafi, who wanted to change it into euros and gold? They can do this with Putin as of now. An invoice seen by Reuters revealed an Indian refiner was asked to pay for deliveries in dirhams, though the figure was first calculated in dollars. A payment in dirhams was made out to Gazprom Bank via Masrek Bank, its corresponding bank in Dubai. These guys are doing hanky-panky. Not good. At least 2 Indian refineries have already settled some transactions using the dirhams. And there are more to come soon as trading firms used by Rosneft only just traded asking for payments in dirhams this month, the report added. The moves signal Moscow is increasingly distancing itself from the US dollar as a way to minimize the impact of Western sanctions. Typically, the dollar is the primary international trade currency, especially for commodities like oil. This also affords the US political and financial leverage over other nations, as exhibited by recent sanctions imposed on Moscow, but Russia looking to alternate currencies now. Of course, earlier in March, Russia and India were in talks to revive a Cold War era currency pact to evade sanctions too. A rupee-ruble ledger would allow the nations to do business without the use of US dollar. Additionally, in recent months, trade volume between yuan and rubles have soared, hitting a 6-month high in June, Bloomberg data shows. Spot trading between the two currencies hit $48 million in the interbank market last month. Well, what do you think? It's true that the trade among these three countries, let's say China, Russia, and India, I don't think it adds to 10% of the global market altogether. I think if you include Brazil, the BRICS countries, I think it's about, they have almost half of the global population. But I think their trade, it's not more than 10% of it. But nevertheless, imagine that you are the guy who asks for protection in the neighborhood from the little, businesses, and all of a sudden you got another guys who takes 10% of your profit or your income. Would you be okay with that? I don't think so. But what can you do? Nothing, because he's got the same guns you got, maybe even more. So you gotta do something else. I don't know, give him some cancer or take care of his family somehow without him knowing it was you. Or maybe use a bottom feeder in the neighborhood to, try to attack him and maybe assassinate him somehow while you just supply weapons, you know what I mean? And other kind of support. And then when these guys are busy over there, hanky-panky, you go from behind and you do like Brutus did to Caesar, Julius Caesar, remember? In March 15th, 44 BCE in Rome. Yeah, I love March. But it's all right. If this is about to happen, and it will happen, if things go at least the way they go right now, and they don't get even shittier, shittier meaning the three countries in the West are not able to kneel Russia, then the US dollar will eventually lose more and more of its power. And that means you and I, got to start building stuff, creating stuff, and we don't provide only services, massages of wooden legs, and pretend that we are working and so on, and just print money, and they give us products. We give papers and numbers, figures on the paper and computer, and they give us things, Yeah, that's the way it goes. You guys, the rest of the world is supposed to work for these guys here. It's unbelievable. I'm exaggerating, obviously, but to a certain extent, for them to trade in oil, they have to get the dollar. How do you get the dollar? Who makes the dollar? You can make how much? I want to buy something, create some dollars and buy some. I give you some dollars and you give me the product. I don't have to produce anything. I just create inflation by producing more dollars. This is just an easy explanation how this robbery, thievery works on a planetary scale. I don't produce anything. All right, guys, print some more money. Give me the money here. What country are you? Let's say Romania. Here, you make globes like this. Okay, here you go. Give me the globe. You have the money. And the thing is, inflation goes up. I got the thing. You got the paper. Good luck to you. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.